Alright, hello everybody, Skyrim here, back again with another Diablo Immortal video. Alright, let's get this out of the way really quickly. First and foremost, before we get into the actual meat and potatoes of this video, we're going to go ahead and cover the return, or the refresh, I should say, of Fractured Plain. Fractured Plain is back yet again, and it's another inception or refresh, what have you. It just recently occurred. It is still not in the current event center. Alright, I was able to sneak a couple points from the previous version of it into this one. I waited to claim it after a couple days, and then I was able to get it. So, I would almost say at this point, again, wait a few days, since this just got re-released, to claim your points. Why? Well, this time around, I was like, alright, I gotta see how well this works or not, because there's already some posts on Reddit. It might be from the previous one, I'm not entirely sure. The post is a day or two old. But nonetheless, I was the guinea pig in this particular instance, and I claimed one run worth of points, which should have gotten me an additional, what was it, 22 or so, something like that. Yeah, 22 points. These ones right here, and it did not. I was still at 133 even after claiming them. Granted, like I said, I got more than these two events right here because the previous Fractured Plain I was able to claim some extra points on. This time around, however, unfortunately, I got absolutely zero. So take that for what you will. I don't know if they'll exactly fix this. I'm not holding my breath to that, especially with NetEase on their Chinese New Year holiday. So good luck. Good effing luck. Especially when in regards to Blizzard doing anything about that whatsoever, because I'm guessing they're the only ones that are going to be touching any of this stuff as of late. But speaking of Blizzard, now that we got that out of the way, speaking of Blizzard coming back around to the meat and potatoes of it, this little interesting gem here. Working on updates to Battlegrounds. All right. So before we get into that, let me go ahead and, for those of you that are new or might be seeing this at some point in the future, what have you, nonetheless, let me hash this out right now. I am a 100% free-to-play player that frequents Battlegrounds on a daily basis. But yes, so that there's 100% transparency here. I am a 100% free-to-play player. I didn't even get a single battle pass this entire time because that's how I approach all mobile games, and I think that's how a lot of people should. I'll get into more of that into a future video. On my final thoughts when it comes to certain things of that nature. I meant to do that with a collaboration of a lot of things. Okay, but anyway, in this particular build, anyway, this is my PvE stuff. There you go. That's my resonance. I'm in the deep into Legend for the Battleground season. Okay, right there. There you go. Currently, this is where it's at. It's been kind of a constant roller coaster ride for the vast majority of us now, I do believe, just because how matchmaking is still absolutely sickeningly busted. It's always going to keep you into a generalized, that 50-50 win percentage win rate. So it will adjust you accordingly, depending, varying degrees one way or the other. Also varying meta builds one way or the other, I have noticed too. That does factor in. It does seem to favor you a bit more when you play certain meta builds. Usually I don't. So yeah, but nonetheless, speaking of meta builds, let me go ahead and talk about it because I do believe I can have a fair say in this. I am in multiple, about 90 to 95% of my matches now, this deep into Legend, and that kind of score is with 11 to 12k and up resonance whales. Okay, so I've seen the meta, I've seen which ones use what, so I think I have a pretty good grasp of the landscape. All right, so let me go ahead and bring this back up in case those of you who just want to read this, take it for what you will. If you haven't already, here it is on screen. I will put it in full. There you go. Pause it or listen to what I have to say along with reading this yourselves. Again, at your fingertips, literally at your own fingertips, do what you choose, do what you want, right? Power of the internet. Crazy thing, right? Anyway, getting back around to the meta, let me say, who would have thunk? Who would have thunk it, right? That we would see the return of Monk into the meta mix. That's all it takes, though. Sadly enough, all it takes is for the developers not to play their own game, not to properly test things before they roll it out, and you have certain things that become quite overtuned. Now, granted, the diehard monks, you know, are overjoyed of this and saying, "Oh, it's finally our time again." That kind of. Well, I completely understand as far as that goes, but let's be real. Let's be honest. It is vastly overtuned in what it does. Now you'll see it mostly more effective, of course by design. It's going to be stronger on whales, but it's the most effective on whales. That's a given. But even at the lower resonance, about, I don't know, there's a certain threshold. Some at the lower resonance, depending on how low anyway, they won't do quite as well. However, about mid resonance or so is when you'll start to see that start to hit a lot harder, and it's really weird how that scales. What also I think is a problem as far as that particular how it was designed is the baton twirlers can literally one tap the crystal heart in Battlegrounds and you'll just delete the entire health bar in an instant. That's a problem, just a little bit. I mean, granted, most classes at this point, well, most whales at this point can anyway, because we're into the 12 to 13,000 resonance, which is absolutely insane. So I don't know if they're going to do anything about that accordingly or not. Something needs to be done, yes, because the same thing also is a problem in the Alley of Blood situations and scenarios, the towers. In there, they can pretty much melt them almost as quickly. Not quite, but that boils around to satyrs. The satyrs are now a byproduct designed because of this meta in doing so and dealing with the monks, right? The satyrs can now do their big AoE circle potency, crank that up, do their blink teleport, which is insanely fast, and burst damage as many as they can, and shield themselves with their immunity bubbles, etc., etc. So they are now currently the anti-monk meta, I suppose. I would say the most effective. You'll still have the barbarians, of course, with their massive AoEs. Hammer smash, rah! Meat hammers all over the place, that kind of thing. But most of those, unfortunately, have also bandwagon the monk for the most part. Tempest is still there, but Tempest has now become Clone Wars. Clone Wars, and I honestly think that's pretty... I don't know, the gameplay as far as that goes is kind of sad. All it is a bunch of dashing around really quickly and leaving down your clones, because clones are untargetable. Half the time you can't even see them on the map, and you'll be getting banana bladed at random as you're running down the lane, like, what is going on right now? Why am I taking so much damage? Or that kind of thing, or so on and so forth from stuff I can't even see. So that's being used and abused as far as Tempest goes. And then you have Necro, which of course is golems. You still have the other ones with their constant circle and perma fear, stun locking. So that does kind of suck for those that do not have CC immunity, of which there is only, I think at this point, one class that does not have any kind of CC immunity, and of course it's Wizard, so forgive me for being biased in that regards, but sorry, not sorry as far as that goes. Yes, we can put down a lot of CC, of course, ourselves, but I mean, that's pretty much all we have at this point. It doesn't always work, because there's a lot of CC immunity stacking and whatnot out there. So I don't know, if you haven't figured out how to deal with that by now, And I don't know what else to tell you as far as the PvP player base goes. It should be pretty simple, and unfortunately it is that much harder, I do believe, as a wizard at this point to, I don't know, put down any kind of CC that is worth anything. So, but then, you know, you'll still have the ones that will say, and I can hear it now, like, oh, why are you saying that? Because you're afraid to play wizard and blah, blah, blah. It's like, all right, just stop. If you know, you know. If you're in the mix, the thick of it, in the PvP scene, like I said, you know. But anyway. But yeah, that's pretty much the synopsis of the meta landscape currently. I do have to say it is comically sad just watching the twirlers chase each other in a circle and that kind of thing. That does look kind of... I mean, it looks pretty dumb. It looks pretty dumb. It's sad that that's all there is to it. And again, the one-tapping Crystal Heart in the Battlegrounds, that's obviously should be the red flag right there and be like, yeah, that's a little too much, don't you think? That's a little too much, but hey, whatever. Here we are. All right, bring it back around to this post finally. I wanted to get my thoughts in there, and obviously if you haven't read this already, then so be it. Here we go. Let me go ahead and cover this now myself here. If you already have, and if you already checked out, hey, I understand completely. It's whatever. Your time is your time. Like I said, you had plenty enough time to read this, but I do hope that you will at least listen to what I had to say in that regards, and I hope that I touched on a lot of true points in the matter of the landscape and how things are. Now, back around to this, the new map. Cool, right? Finally, long overdue. Unfortunately, they go at a snail's pace when it comes to these kind of things. The community's been screaming for this for quite some time, but nonetheless, I guess here we are. We're finally getting it. Don't know what to expect, though, unfortunately, because there is going to be a... Let's see, but wanted to let you know what we plan to test and what is initially be playable to you all. Early February, we plan to run a small play test with pre-selected players. Great, right? Again, it's probably going to be the partner program people, of which I am not. I only say this is a pain point because a lot of them really don't PvP, and those that even do, they don't do frequently at all, and they merely only do it when they want to make some content, and they not necessarily know or have been in the deep into, you know, the thick of it as the vast majority of us in the diehard PvP community. So that's, hey, I'm sorry, not sorry, just calling it like it is, right? So anyway, honestly, I think I should be in the mix of this, and if they could kick me something my way and let me play test this, hey, I'd be all for it, right? And I'd be much more critical and give a lot more insight, I do believe, into this. But hey, that's out of my control. Who knows if at all. I'll let you guys know, you know, obviously, but I mean, obviously, if I do, there probably might be some kind of form of an NDA. But I should be able to at least say, yeah, I'm in there. Oh, is it good or is it bad? I don't know yet. That's pretty much all I will be able to say if, and this is all hypothetical, if I'm getting into that. Again, I would like to. I'd honestly like to, but hey, I'm not expecting it, sadly. But nonetheless, anyway, there's that. We'll use the first round of the feedback to address any major plan points or outliers before our next step, a public trial release. And here we go, back to being early access, beta testing, whatever. Yeah, that's pretty much what this is boiling down to. Again, the players at large will be the guinea pigs, not them actually doing any in-house game testing, which has been a thing that has been gone from the gaming industry for quite some time, which is also I think, a huge oversight and downfall of a lot of aspects in games for quite some time too. But anyway, with the launch of version 3.3 in late March, we're not going to be seeing this in the public Okay, we plan to introduce the new map in rotation with the existing map. In rotation. For a duration of approximately 2 months. So it's basically like the Tower Wars. When the Tower Wars is brought around, I think Tower Wars only lasts for, I think, a month. Maybe 2, but I think it's usually just only a month. So this one's going to last for 2 months before potentially being taken down for retooling. Okay? So yeah, we're going to be guinea pigs at the end of March, though. And I'd like to see it sooner than that. But whatever, right? During that time period, we want to hear from you. We want to get your thoughts on if the new map is an improvement over the last map. Our intention is eventually move to the new map either permanently, all right, or make it regularly available, but we won't know what to do until that, you know, and so on and so until we actually test it out and they actually get some feedback from us. Please, devs, please actually listen to us. Okay, we've been giving plenty of feedback for quite some time across Reddit. Granted, yeah, Reddit in any aspect usually is a bunch of complaining, that kind of thing, and so on and so forth. But at the same time, if you actually sift through, there are some constructive criticism to be given there as well that was neglected for the longest time on various things. Be surprised if you would actually pay attention to those things. And also the Diablo Immortal Discord. The official Discord, there are people in there all the time. We're helping each other out as far as that goes because we know we'll never see the devs actually listen to any of us in there whatsoever either. In the official Discord, you'd think that there would be a little bit more interaction and feedback, but unfortunately, that is the problem as far as that goes, and it needs to be addressed, I think, more fully than what it has. Okay? Take note, please. You're asking for our feedback. Well, there's already been plenty of feedback here started, and rightfully so. Fix CC for Pete's sake, that kind of thing. Yeah, it's whatever. Everybody's getting ragdolled all over the map. Rubber banding, more like it. These series of, I know when you go up against barbarians and the satyr circles that pull you, that kind of thing, you will literally be rubber banding all over the place, back and forth. No matter how much you try to get away from it, you'll just watch yourself be pulled across the map and bounced like a pinball. So yeah, it's like pinball machine. You just it's a mess. That does need to be something done about it, but whatever. Whether that will be the case, I doubt it. And then these are all just little side notes here. You can look these up yourselves. I'll go ahead and link the. I think I'll link the the forum post here into the descriptions, in the description or in the pinned comment down below. Anyway, I've said enough on this, of course, as I always often do. If you've hung around this entire time, I appreciate you, as always. Let me know your thoughts on the whole entire situation. Hopefully I gave more than enough insight on this. Like I said, I think I deservingly so have enough insight on these kind of situations and on PvP as a whole in this game. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think of the whole situation? Of course, let me rehash it real quick. Long overdue on a new map. We've been screaming for this for a very, 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 very long time. Optimistically, on the other side of the coin, optimistically, finally, it's nice that they're doing this at all. So we have to take that with a grain of salt and take it for what it is at face value. Try to take that as a positive as much as we can anyway. Obviously, we're going to be cynical because of, well, their track record and how long it's been, like it was just discussed, but nonetheless. Yeah. Anyway, until next time, everybody, stay safe out there in the real world. As always, take care of yourselves as best you can, one day at a time. It's all we can do. It's the best we can do. Until next time, see ya.